I am smoking today. I am going to do bacon wrapped ribs. I saw this on the All Things Barbecue YouTube channel and I want to give it a try. So this is what we're starting with. We got some unprocessed pork ribs and I need to break these down and get them ready to go. So this is your, I am not a butcher, but I'm going to show you very basic butchering technique just to get these prepared. Now, I always feel like this is a good opportunity to not only save money because this is going to be cheaper, but it's kind of a good way to get some of the basic butchering out of the way because it's cheaper and I'm all about cheap. Welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Kathryn, the Aerogarden Homesteader, and yeah, it's smoke day. So, ooh, that's not very big. So there's this flap of meat here on the bottom. I'm calling this the bottom. It's probably the inside, who knows. But it needs to be removed. So I'm going to remove it. Save this. You can cook this up at the same time as the ribs. You can put it in, if you've got like a meat grinder, you can put this in for grinding up meat for pork or whatever. Okay, so that's that. And then we get these little bits and pieces off. So now we gotta flip it over. Let me see if I can orient myself here. So the key is to try to figure out where the longest rib is, and then you got to cut from there. Let me see, maybe I can see it better on the back. It's kind of fatty and meaty, but it's hard to tell. I think it's right here. So I want to plunge the knife in all the way down. I'm trying to not cut my my cookie sheet here. But we're going to just take this all the way across and square it off. And I am apparently going crooked because I'm hitting something. I'm not an expert at this. Let's go the other way first, see if we can get that to work better. There we go. Okay. Now that we got that, let's just follow it the other way. This might be a little easier if I hold it up. Less likely to damage my cookie sheet. There we go. Okay, there we go. So, that's how it should look. Next step, there is a membrane here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's right here. And you just have to pull that off. It does help to have a paper towel, but if you don't use paper towel, then you just kind of have to pick at it. I do have paper towel, I just did not plan ahead and pull one off. And I'm not going to touch everything with meat-covered hands. So we're just going to fight with this. We'll skip ahead. Yeah, paper towel is a little easier because it's dry, so it makes it grip. You just have something to grip onto. If you can get your thumb under there and just kind of work it off, then it does actually come off fairly decently. You want to make sure you get all of this membrane off because this will not break down. It will be nice and chewy, and you will enjoy it for a very long time. Please read the sarcasm in that. If you kind of get to a point and you feel like it's slipping out of your hands, you can always wrap it. That helps too. Okay, there we go. That's that. Get a few more bits of fat off. So you can kind of pull some of this off if you just don't want to have too much or you feel like it's a little too thick. Little fat won't kill, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, the bacon is fatty too. So you gotta decide on how much fat you want in your meal. There we go. Some of it will render out. Okay. So last bit of cleaning. I don't know if you can tell, but this is cut at an angle and there's a piece of bone here. So I am going to take that off. And that way I don't have some weird half rib thing going on. Okay. Then on the other end, there is a spot where the bones kind of end, and you can just cut that part off too. Don't think that's a full bone. Okay. I think it's right here. Guess not. What is that? We'll go one more. There we go. I was right the first time. Okay, so at this point, I want to just break this down into individual ribs. Then I want to get some rub on it. It'll probably have a little bit of binder as well. And then I can wrap it in bacon. So I'm just going to kind of try to go down between each bone. And once again, try to not cut my cookie sheet. That's never fun. What am I hitting? Oh my goodness. I am not very good at this, apparently. Like a little bit of cartilage. There we go. It's hitting the bone. Should be easier from the bottom, but apparently I am having trouble. Let's go on the other side. If you don't quite hit your line when you're trimming, you will get a little bit of cartilage, so you can just cut those out. It is actually a little easier to see from the where they cut the rib bones to get you started. There we go. Okay, so that is all of my ribs. 12 ribs. So I think my package of bacon comes with 14 slices, so I will end up with an extra bonus slice. So I might be able to wrap some of these pieces up, but it's fine. Okay. So I will do a quick cleanup and get some binder. Okay, I got some mustard here. I'm just going to get some mustard on. That will help my rub to stick. And then bacon wrapping time. Okay, so one clean hand, one dirty hand. It's kind of the standard for cooking practices. You can use lots of different things as a binder. These are wet enough that my rub might have stuck fine to it, but we're just going to add a little touch of mustard. You won't taste it in the end, so don't worry about that. You could use any barbecue sauces if you want. But I am gonna sauce this up at the end, so it's kind of your call. This is going to be just unwrapped. I'm not going to wrap this. Normally I will do a rack of ribs and I will wrap them. So if I do one rack, I do a 2-2-1 method. So 2 hours unwrapped, 2 hours wrapped, 1 hour unwrapped with sauce. So that is not today. Today is going to be completely unwrapped, and it'll just go for the full. I think it'll take about 3 to 4 hours, depending. So this is a sweet and smoky rub. And then I have like a cherrywood smoked barbecue sauce that's really good. I'll brush just a little bit. It doesn't need a ton. We can always add more sauce later. And depending on how well cooked everything is, I mean, it should be pretty well cooked. I could pull the bones out and we could just have it boneless. Okay. So I got a lot of excess here. I'm just going to collect it up. Let's not waste anything. Any spots I miss, I can go back over again. Okay. There we go. So I will be just throwing these on as well. I don't know about this piece, that might be too thin. But this one's thick enough that it can handle the heat, and this as well. So you just put a little bit on. They will just go on with the bacon wrapped ribs. My mustard is low. This will just be a little snacky snack. There's actually quite a bit of meat on this, so don't waste it. If you have a rub with sugar in it, sometimes the sugar will clump and it causes problems, so sometimes it helps to just give it a shake before you start dispensing. Tried to shake mine up beforehand, but I think there's still a few clumps in the bottom. Just happens. It's just the nature of things. Okay, so that is that. So I'm going to get my other glove back on, and I am going to start wrapping. My bacon has been sitting at room temperature for a short period of time, so hopefully that will make it a little bit more pliable and easier to wrap. Let me see. Just going to use the knife. So this is my first time doing this, so hopefully it'll work out. Now, from what I understand, the trick is if you can wrap it onto itself first, it helps lock the ends in place, and then you can kind of stretch the bacon around a little bit and wrap it around. That should give you full coverage, and then you can tuck it back under itself at the end. That will help keep it in place. And as it shrinks up while it's cooking, it will hopefully lock itself in place. Okay, now it's just a matter of lather, rinse, repeat. I will zip through this. Can't imagine this is going to be fun to watch, so. Okay, there we go. So they are all wrapped. Some of the longer ones or the meatier ones required an extra half piece, but that's fine. I had a little extra. So I will clean up and get these on the smoker, and I will take you along for that. Okay, so I am using a pellet smoker. I have it set to 250 because my options are 250 or 300. So we're going to just go with the 250. So I'm going to get these on, put the stuff in the back that doesn't really need as much attention, and I'm going to put the ribs up towards the front because I'm probably going to come through and turn them halfway or so. I think it'll take about 3 hours, but you know, it could take a little longer. I will check them after about an hour and a half and see how they're doing. I'll probably stick a probe in one of them so that I can sort of monitor the temperature. I think what we're looking for is 200 degrees. So if I can get these in a little bit tighter. So I am using a flavor blend. It's like paprika and onion. It was on sale. We got it. It is what it is. Oh, maybe I'll just throw that little piece on too. Okay, there we go. So I'll show you how it progresses. It has been about an hour and a half, and I am going to flip everything. So I want the bacon to render fairly evenly. And then I will probably get a probe in, one of these thicker ones, so that I can start keeping an eye on the temperature. Oh yeah, some spots are hotter than other spots. I'm just going to be an equal opportunist, and I'm going to flip these other ones as well. Well, that one's bone side down. I don't know if it really matters. Let's see. This up front where it's a little bit cooler. There we go. Okay, wow. I'm going to get the probe in, which has not been deployed or plugged in. But there we go. And I might need to hold that down. There we go. Hopefully that will be fine. The door will hit it. It is windy. Oh boy. Hope that doesn't cause any problems with the mic. Sorry if it does. Okay, there you go. So that is, it's in the meat. I just need to plug it in so I can start monitoring the temperature. And I'll probably be back in, I don't know, probably about an hour or so. I'll just start keeping an eye on the temperature, but it shouldn't need a flip for a little while. So it has been 3 hours. They are looking really good. So I'm going to get this probe out. They are at the right temperature. So what I will do is I'm going to give them a quick flip, and I'm going to get a little sauce on them. So some of these small ones, I'm going to bring them up to the front. Whew. Okay. Oh, that smells really good. This better taste good. Okay, so I'm going to move them up. I'm going to get a little sauce on them. I've turned the temperature down because they are at the right temperature. So this way I can tack up the sauce, but not overcook them too much. I don't think it would be the end of the world if they were overcooked, but the bacon looks like it's nicely rendered at where it is right now, and I don't want to burn the bacon. So it's just a little bit of barbecue sauce with a little bit of water mixed in just so it can flow a little bit easier. I'm just going to get some of that on. I hate these silicone brushes. They don't seem to hold the sauce very well. There we go. I will let that go for a little longer, and I will probably get a little more sauce in here and put some on the other side, but that's pretty much it. These are almost at a point where they can be eaten, so but we're not at a point yet where we're ready to eat them. There we go. And this is how they turned out. They are amazing. Definitely try these. Add them to your rotation if you're looking to zip up your ribs a little bit. I thought they were amazing, and so does the kiddo. So give it a try. I hope you liked this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll have some videos linked that you might enjoy after this one, and I will see you next time on the Aerogarden Homestead.